Hello, Sharks. My name is John Sorial. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm seeking a $300,000 investment in exchange for 10% equity in my product. Sharks, being the son of Egyptian immigrants, I loved the East Mediterranean foods I grew up on. The problem is, my grandmother didn't ship nationwide. So I took authentic recipes from the motherland and gave them a fresh new taste and look with TaDah Foods. TaDah is a frozen line of products that brings one of the world's most popular dishes, falafel, to the masses. Falafel is an amazingly savory blend of chickpeas, aromatic herbs, fresh veggies, and spices. And we've made it super easy and convenient to enjoy with our falafel street wraps. In just 3 minutes, you can say goodbye to bland, boring bean burritos and finally eat something that's bursting with flavors. And that's not all. For those looking to eat gluten-free, we created the world's first and only stuffed falafel popper. That's right, I took the already perfect falafel and I figured out how to stuff it on the inside with one of our creamy signature dips. So Sharks, who wants to help me take America on an exotic culinary journey of deliciously prepared plant-based foods ready to heat and eat any time of day?
Bring it.
I am excited. So I've had falafel maybe a couple of times in my life. I think every time has been, or actually almost every time has been out in New York. Probably one of the best ways to eat falafel. I'm not sure, but so I'm hopeful that that John's got some sales to back up $3 million $3 million valuation, as well as a game plan for mass distribution, because when you have, when you come into the tank and you're already like splitting out your sales strategy between like falafel in a box as well as falafel in a meatball looking falafel ball, that you got to have the support. I mean, when you start talking about if it's I assume it's frozen food section, that is, I mean, we all know, anybody that's been watching this channel, this show forever, knows that is a tough buy-in, right, to get into those things. So hopefully he has some distribution already and some fire already going that one of these Sharks can pour some gasoline onto it. Otherwise, it's gonna be a tough road here in the tank. But you know what's not a tough road? For you to head over to shopsuperjoe.com and get your ABCs on. That's apparel like I'm wearing, books like sitting behind me, as well as courses, and the S stands for stickers, of course. So we got all that over at shopsuperjoe.com.
Yeah.
Feed us, John. Feed us. So it's a falafel ball.
But, we get about an 18-month shelf life on our product.
Oh, that's very
In the
rich.
refrigerated
Wow.
set or in the frozen set?
In the frozen set. This is a frozen product.
It's chickpea, right?
Chickpea based, yeah.
Tell us about your background.
All right, before John gets to his background, I mean, he already kind of mentioned a little bit there. I do love the name, by the way. TaDah it's fun to say and could be applied to so many different avenues after the fact later on down the line as the company grows. But the frozen section thing, 18 months, that's pretty, I think that's pretty impressive. Like, you could effectively get some falafel, throw it in your freezer, leave it there for a while for like emergency food options, and have it there without having to be like, okay, I bought this, has a shelf life of maybe, I don't know, 6 months to a year tops. You probably wouldn't want to eat it more than that, but that's pretty awesome. And I like the fact that John went to the store and bought it. I mean, that tends to tell me that there probably is some kind of sales going on. So exciting.
My parents are immigrants. They actually left Egypt. There was some religious persecution that was happening. They came to America. And when you're the son of immigrant parents, they're really liberal and open-minded, as long as you take a profession in medicine, engineering, law, or medicine, right? And so I studied chemical engineering at Johns Hopkins University. I graduated. I worked in oil refining. I traveled all over the world, but I found it to be a really hollow experience. It wasn't a passion of mine.
What do you sell it for, and what is the cost?
The 7.5-ounce falafel street wraps retail for $3.99, and the 8-ounce bag of the gluten-free falafel poppers retails for $4.99. Cost me $1.09.
Hey, John, it says here you give 25% of your profits to charity.
That's 25% of distributed profits from the original founders is going to non-for-profits.
So does that mean
A specific one, or?
Well, yes, we have a few, but the biggest one works with impoverished children. They try to break the poverty cycle through education, medical care, and food programs.
break down the numbers for me?
I love that. So for a while there, back from between 2016 and 2018, I worked with HopeWorks in Camden, which does similar type things. They get youth that have been, underserved, underprivileged, under stress and under trauma to go through an education process of learning to code, and then through that, once they complete the program, they get to enter into a pool of people that go into internships, paid internships at different companies, as well as companies that are baked right into HopeWorks, which is absolutely awesome. It was an amazing experience, and getting to work with so many youth was just wonderful. It was a very eye-opening time for me, and an educational time for me. But they also get the support of coaches, like life coaches, and other services, other entrepreneurs that come in and help foster not just the education route, but the potential to go and start your own business route. So it's very, very cool. So I very highly love to see that. But we're mentioning other founders, so I'm guessing that that there's going to be that's going to come up in the conversation here.
Lifetime sales is over 8.2 million.
Woo! Wow.
Trailing 12 month is 1 million.
How many
The year
years?
before that?
1 million. So you've stayed
steady at
you're
1
flat. Yeah, we're flat because the demand is there, and we can't supply. We were the fastest growing frozen brand in the country.
And
then we ran into a big production issue. And so then we went from 2.3 to 1.7, and now we're at 1.
What happened?
You were using a co-packer?
Yeah, so it was fantastic. We were achieving great margins with them. They became financially insolvent.
you couldn't make product.
I couldn't make product. I would show up and they'd have 4 people on the floor. This takes dozens of
Wow.
people, right? So I would stay all night with the staff. I would suit up and I was shoveling chickpeas myself. But at the same time, I was flying all over the country trying to source new co-packers. We fixed that problem.
On this million of sales in the last 12 months,
Yeah.
how much did you lose?
Say 2018, we lost 200,000.
The more you're talking, I'm less excited. When you first came out, I was
Let's-
like,
let-
woo, falafel.
Let's get you more excited.
All right.
That is tough. That's tough, right? Like when the story takes that turn, and heaven forbid, like this was season 11, right? So this was before 2020 and the illness and all that. So hopefully, we're gonna check out John's website at the end here and his social media and see how things are progressing. But I imagine it's probably been pretty rough going, especially if he couldn't get multiple sources leading up to the illness in 2020.
In the top 10 of all frozen products nationwide, and we were the fastest growing in the frozen natural space.
Not anymore, you're flat.
Hearing your story
Yeah.
resonates to me, but I think that there are some other sharks on the panel here that can help accelerate you
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
And so for those reasons, I'm out.
So how much have you invested, and have you taken in any outside
We've
investors?
only ever done a friends and family round. The total round was $300,000.
How much equity did you have to give up for the $300,000?
I gave away 75%.
You won 25%.
Yes.
You gave up
Sorry, John.
75?
You gave up
Yeah.
75%.
Okay, so John, walk us through that. So that's a lot, and that has a lot of implications, right?
That does. That is, oh God. Well, that's heartbreaking. And here John is, he's doing, when the chips are down, he's swinging the bat. He's shoveling the chickpeas himself because they don't have people to work at the factory, at the food factory, right? So he's stepping up and doing everything he can do to make this work. And for $300,000, everybody else is pretty much owning the company, which is just heartbreaking, and then piecing the money together, the time together to go and visit these other facilities to make that happen, that's horrible. I wonder how many of those people that own are actually involved with the business. I wonder if we'll get into that here.
Originally, it was 50%, right, to the investors. and I had the other 50%. So then what we ended up doing was the other investors were like, no, we want to be part of the giving, okay? So we then distributed that 25% that was reserved for the social causes, and we distributed it amongst all of us.
Wait, that doesn't make sense.
You're giving up
We're talking about
25% of the equity to the social causes, not of the profits.
Correct.
Oh, John.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. I mean, I guess if they're taking like dividends, cashing out the profits on a maybe a quarterly basis or biannual basis or something, even annual basis. But wow, that is not the way to do it. I mean, that's especially in such a competitive field, right? Like you're in a very competitive. You're not doing, you're not getting your. I'm assuming most of those sales are coming from the shelf, right? In retail stores, the supermarkets and stuff. So if that's the case, you probably don't have the margin to be able to make it. I mean, on the bags, they said that it was $1.09 to make, $4.99 retail. So, I mean, yeah, basically, he's operating like right in, like really, because he's probably selling it to them for like $2.50 a bag, right? So they can get market up at $5 a bag. That's tough. And I also feel like if it's all what was it? All like all veggie or all, I don't know if it's considered vegan. I missed what it doesn't say right here on this screen. At least I can't see it, but having that as an option, I mean, it has a ton of protein in it. I mean, obviously chickpeas are high in protein. I feel like it could be maybe priced a little bit higher, maybe at least on the poppers. That could be a little bit higher. I don't know how many they're given per bag, but
You're giving up 25% of the equity to the social causes, not of the profits.
Correct.
Oh, John.
Maybe I'm not doing a good job explaining this. The investors, the 4 investors, myself and the other 3 investors or founders, own 100% of the company. And in each of our own equity stake, we've pledged 25% of what we make.
Here you are facing an inventory shortage.
Yep.
Why didn't your investors loan you more?
Our total liability is $445,000.
That's why they're not loaning you more money.
John, sometimes you love the singer,
Yeah.
but you hate the song.
Well, I'll sing you a different song. What would you like? I'll sing you a
No,
different
listen,
song.
seriously, I wish you luck, but this isn't for me. I'm out.
Food's great. As we peeled the onion on your story, oh my goodness. The cap table, it doesn't need cosmetic surgery, it needs
No, it doesn't. He
major
re-explained it. It was
surgery.
What do you
okay.
mean? It's for investors.
It's
It's for investors.
misalignment.
No, he just...
Let me finish, Mark. I mean, it's too much work for me. I'm sorry, my friend. Food's great.
I really don't see it as that
I'm
much.
out.
I appreciate
I'm out. It's just too. It's
Sure.
too much work. Daniel, I'm betting in the journey of kind, you faced this problem somewhere along the road. What does this guy have to do?
Kind, when he was born,
Yeah.
we were in a situation not very dissimilar to yours.
Right.
I'd lost about $1 million in sales because one of my manufacturers had changed the ingredients, and we were this far away from just closing everything.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me when I think back that Kind grew out of one of the toughest years of my life, and out of that darkness came incredible light. And Kind today sells in 300,000 stores, over $1 billion a year at retail, and so it can happen. And when I think about you and I see how you haven't given up after every single thing that has hit you, I just want to understand what's motivating you. Why haven't you just gone back to be an engineer? What does this mean to you?
I mean, that hold on, before John gets there, that story of being in your darkest, is like they always say, is like it's the darkest right before the light. I don't think that's actually true. Maybe it is, but so often, like you're an entrepreneur, right? You're a super entrepreneur. You're getting run down. Things are not going in your direction. You're swinging the bat, even when things are looking their bleakest. And sometimes it really is like you're a lot closer to exploding the business. Everything just blowing up and being huge than you actually realize, right? And it's these couple of stumbling blocks that, I always say, like, you need to be listening to the universe, right? Because the universe is always speaking. You got to be listening. And the direction, the choices that we make, what we say yes to, what we say no to. You know, saying no is just as important as saying yes. It really, you're really not necessarily that, you know, you've ever seen the picture of the two people like digging for gold, right? Or gold or diamonds or whatever. And it's like the one person gives up and they were just like a couple hits away from making it happen. While the other person is not giving up. They keep grinding it out. And it doesn't happen overnight. It'll look like it's overnight, but even in Daniel's example, like what feels like an eternity in that year of despair and sorrow, and everything's just going wrong, and the sky is falling, and not only is it falling, but it's, you know, potentially millions of dollars like riding on the line, and the faith in your word that's more important than any amount of dollars, right? All of that is right there in front of you, and you have to be able to continue to steer the ship in the right direction. Even if it's looking like, hey, maybe this ain't gonna work out so well. But at a certain point, you have to realize, like, there is no going back. There is no going back. Like you're either going down with the ship, or you're gonna save the day, right? Like you can't just turn around and go home and undo everything that you've created, everything that people have invested in and believed in, as well as yourself, right? You might have to go down with the ship, but it's not like you can't save it.
It's perspective, right? When you go to other parts of the world and you see how people live, right? You realize that people are fighting for their lives. That's why I'm not like, I want to be a profitable company, and I've worked really hard, and it has been difficult, but I think about my family and those people who are struggling, and I want this to be a success because it'll impact their lives. I'm sorry. I've never cried like that. I'm sorry. And I understand you think it's complex because we've been through a lot, but it just means that I know how to keep our company going. You have someone who has proven himself, who scaled it, has the team, has the manufacturing. We just want to succeed.
Your story resonates a lot with me, as I said earlier. And you have an incredibly quality product, and you have an incredible passion, but you have a mess in terms of the system that you have that needs to be fixed. So I don't see how with $300,000 you get out of it. You just need a little bit more. So if you want the $300,000, I'll do it for 20%.
Wow.
Okay. Well, hold on a second there, Dave. You resonate with me. All right, you're resonating. You're vibing with the story, and then you're saying, "Well, $300,000 isn't going to be enough to get you there. I'm going to take 20% for the $300,000 that I just proclaimed." As the person knowing the situation and being there and actually doing the thing, I'm gonna give you $300,000. Jeez, man. I mean, look, no offer is. I mean, an offer is better than no offer. God, that is tough. I mean, where they're at right now, it's not like they couldn't bounce back, but having the expertise that Daniel brings to the table could mean the difference between, another year having to go find some more capital and another person to help, run the ship, and not necessarily the right people who have been through that storm, right? Daniel's been there. He's done it. Counter at 15%, maybe?
I'll give you $500,000 for 25% so that we can do this properly. Okay?
Wow. Oh, okay.
And if we do any of the bigger option, that money that would be to buy out a portion of all of your investors, because I'm going to be doing all of the work with you, so I want you to derive the benefits. I actually would like to get you to a bigger stake than you currently have.
Can we do $500,000 at 25%, but with then a line of credit for accounts receivable for another $500,000?
I will do the $500,000 for 25%, and I will most likely give you a line of credit, but it's not part of this deal. I'm going to sit down with you and your investors and review the 400 some thousands that they're owed, the equity that they have, and then as part of our next negotiation, I will be happy to provide maybe $1 million line of credit, whatever is necessary, but it will have to.
But before you jump, the two of the people, or three people potentially, that have been there with you since the beginning, he wants to try to buy out.
John,
With fair terms.
John.
You've been through the wars, and when somebody is in a foxhole with you,
Yes.
you don't buy them out, right?
That's exactly right. So, but from what I understand, that's an option. It's not something.
You said your investors signaled that they're willing to do whatever it takes. Right now, the investors are dying to just get their money back. They're about to
You don't
go
know
out of
that, though.
business.
You don't know that,
Well,
though,
it's
right?
pretty obvious from the numbers.
What valuation are you buying them out at,
Just
right?
going back and saying, is there a price to buy you out at, means I think it's going to go up in value, and I'm not taking you for the ride, right? I think I can create more value than I'm going to pay you. Otherwise, you wouldn't buy them out, right?
You don't always know that, Mark.
Yeah, of
maybe they just
course.
maybe they just want to get some cash out.
To Mark's point, my partners, they're my friends. They believed in me when it was just a concept. So as long as this is not like some type of
So
takeover.
what about this, John?
John, this is a
I'll give you $300,000 for 20%, less than his, but I'll give you another $500,000 line of credit.
So now there's two.
There you go. Mark was getting super impatient and then was able to actually swoop in. It's doesn't always happen. I mean, we've seen it where Mark walked away with nothing in his hand because he waited too long. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'd still want to work with Daniel. I get where Daniel's coming from. Like, hey, like I want to work with you. Let's find a way to get them happy, and go from there. Like, I think that getting some cash out is different than a hostile takeover, and good on John for recognizing, what Mark's saying and understanding that, like, these people have been there with me through thick and thin, and they haven't, wanted to throw me over the side of the ship yet. So, and cause a mutiny. So I very much appreciate that John felt that way enough to even ask, and then the editors to leave it in the show. Now, whether or not Mark's offer, I think I'd still rather work with Daniel because of the fact that we're talking about frozen foods, and he has those relationships and that experience that Mark wouldn't necessarily be able to bring to the table. But it's tough.
Offers.
Both are icons in respective industries. Is there any way to structure a deal with both of you?
I
Because
just want to make clear that I'm doing this to give you a hand.
I know you
really don't need to.
I don't do charity.
I want you to win, but the terms that I'm offering are very generous.
John, you got to make a decision.
You have to decide.
All right.
What are you going to do?
would you do $500,000 for 20%?
No.
I feel extremely blessed, and Daniel, I accept your offer.
Wow.
We're gonna kill it together.
We're definitely gonna kill it.
We're gonna make falafel the sexiest food on earth.
Unbelievable.
Sexy falafel. That was a good one, Daniel.
Oh my God. Choosing between Daniel and Mark was one of the most difficult decisions I've ever made. But Daniel is an icon in our industry. To have him in our corner, supporting us, not just financially, but like working with us and helping us to grow TaDah into what we hope to be a national brand. It's just the best outcome I could have hoped for.
Yeah, I imagine so. You know, John, I would love to have you come here on the channel and for an interview and talk about your experience. Everybody that watches this channel knows I love seeing faces, and we got John's face right up at the top of the site. So we got falafel wraps, the street wraps. You can check them out. I wonder what let's see, can we see what the prices are here? We got the poppers. All right, let's see. Okay, so I guess, well, I could order now. Oh, this is taking me to another site. So a box of 8 is $7.50. Okay, that seems relatively inexpensive. I might be getting me some falafel here to try out. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to try this out. I'm very much interested. And where's the popper? Let's see. Go to the poppers. You have to find it in a store for that one. Notify me. Maybe they don't have the poppers. I wonder if that maybe it was because of shortages and stuff. They put that on hold and just focused on the wraps for now. They did have a recall. Oh, was it on the poppers? No, that was on the wraps. So they did have a recall. It's at the top of their site, which, good on them for having that recall out there for people to hopefully not get sick. Let's check out their social media. So on Instagram, we got 1,800 followers. We got 3 weeks ago was the last time they posted Eat This Not That Food Awards. That's cool. That's something that not everybody gets. Here's a picture. Hey Bobby, where should I put these warehouse stickers? I don't know. Why not slap them on the front of the graphics? There you go. See, I like that. Like being able to, poke fun and have a joke at your own expense. I think is really important for a lot of brands to recognize and move on. So Facebook, January 10th was the last time they posted there. 7,500 likes, which is great to see. And then Twitter was the other one that they linked. I don't know if they have a TikTok, didn't pull it up, but it wasn't linked on their site. September 23rd, 2021 was the last time they posted there. So again, John, I'd love to have you come on the show. Just reach out in the comments down below. Like, oh God, I meant to learn how to say this name. Jaquanda? I apologize if I did not say that right. Said, same, I'm so glad I found Joe. Well, I'm glad you found me too, so I could butcher your name here at the end of this Shark Tank Biz Coach Reacts video. I greatly appreciate everyone watching and being a part of the super community. So I'll see you in one of these two videos over here. Take care and go be super.